shoulder at rookie Justin Fields, unless, of course, Fields is standing in back of him. The 11-year vet Dalton only focused on what he can do right now to help the team. Take a listen.
I've been a great opportunity right here. I knew that coming in that I'd get a chance to start here, and that's my focus is on this year. The rest of my career is going to take care of itself, but you know, my focus on what I'm doing now, and you know, this is a big year for me, and it's gonna for me, I've got to go just play like I know I can play.
All right, Wilds, what are the chances Dalton makes it through the season as the starter?
Oh, as the starter, I would say a 0% chance. But now that I saw that beard, I might move it up to about 5%. Here's the thing. This is directed Broussard at everyone who is up in arms saying that Justin Fields should start, that Andy Dalton doesn't even deserve a chance. Give Andy Dalton a shot. Worst case scenario, you Tom Savage him, he plays for the first half, and then you pull him. The last time, like, ask yourself this, Bears fans. Is Justin Fields and our offensive line as good as Russell Wilson in the Seahawks offensive line? Because in the playoffs last year, Aaron Donald, who was, when it was healthy at the time, but then he got hurt, Aaron Donald and that Rams defense hit Russell Wilson 10 times and sacked him 5 times. It would be worse if you put a rookie out there. So start Andy Dalton, give Justin Fields a Dalton sacrifice to look around and get his feet wet. No, sacrifice the guy. No, stop saying that. I'm just saying Justin Fields could learn.
That's pretty.
You don't have to face Aaron Donald your very first game. It's not a sacrifice.
Yeah, just let's just send Dalton to the Wolves.
Stop. Wow. It's not a sacrifice.
It does make some sense, though, Wilds, because look at Joe Burrow. All right, they put him out there behind that paper-mache offensive line, and he gets hurt. You don't want that to happen to Justin Fields. Look, I'm not going to be surprised if Fields eventually is the starter. I actually expect it, but I think there's a solid chance that Dalton does get through the season. Number one, he's durable. He's only missed 11 games in his 10 years, all right? Number two, the Bears have designed, they got a pretty decent team. I know the offensive line is a wreck, but Allen Robinson's there, a good receiver, a great receiver. Their defense 2 years ago was legit, all right? They made the playoffs 2 out of the last 3 years. If Dalton just plays decently, they actually could be in the playoff race. And Matt Nagy, here's the thing, he has every reason to start Justin Fields. One, he's looked maybe better than Dalton in the preseason. He's mobile. He's a high pick, so everybody wants to see him play. And it would be better for Nagy's job security. We know he's on the hot seat. What better insurance or buffer than to throw out a rookie, and if you struggle, you say, hey, he's a rookie. We got to develop him. That's why we're not winning. I give Matt Nagy credit for sticking with his plan to play Andy Dalton and not put Justin Fields out there prematurely. So if he's stuck with it to this point, who's to say if they're winning, he won't stick with it throughout the season? So decent chance, chance. Nick?
Okay, that is Broussard. It's Broussard's second day. Mark it down in the Broussard history books. His first truly awful take. The first truly indefensible take of the Broussard First Things First era just came out at 8:09 a.m. Eastern Time on August 31st. There is a 0% chance that Andy Dalton makes it through the season. There is a far better chance that he does not make it through the first game than there is that he makes it through the season. And I'm not saying like Wild is saying because Aaron Donald's going to decapitate him. I'm going to say because at halftime there might be that Matt Nagy might be like, yeah, let's go with Justin Fields. Let's go with Justin Fields. It is every once in a while in sports, we see someone is about to make a decision. Everyone agrees it's wrong. Why would you do it? And yet they make it. And then you're like, how could they defend? Maybe they know something we don't know. And then it blows up spectacular. You're like, nope, everyone was right. That's like remember when the Jags were like, hey, Blake Bortles, we're going to give you a contract extension. Everyone was like, no, don't do it, man. Don't do it. They're like, nope, we're going to do it. And then it blew up immediately. That's what this is. The idea that Broussard, it's not that people are like, Andy Dalton's not going to make it through the year because he's going to get injured. And Noel's not going to make it through the year because he's been terrible for 5 years. It's been 5 years since Dalton was good. And the Bears, to your point, have been a playoff team 2 of the last 3 years. Fields is a better option. Everybody knows. Come on. Come on. It's Andy Dalton. It's a good beard. I wish I had that beard. Yeah, that's it.
They did pay a pretty penny for him there in Chicago. They want to get some money's worth. Maybe they want to up his trade value just a little bit.
They like it.
Trade him back to Dallas. Can we talk some Ben Simmons? We'll take a shift, get into the NBA for a little bit. Will the superstar be traded out of Philly in the coming days? Tell you why we're bringing that up next. First things first.
83rd out of respect for what he has accomplished. But this is a slightly different list. It's not the best players. It is a projection. And I would have, I think, I don't know that I would have had Dak ahead of him, but I know I would have had Lamar ahead of him if we're projecting forward. So then you're still coming in 6th. Like if we flip Dak and Lamar. And so, Wilds, you seem, you're upset. And I understand that you're upset. I'm not sure why. Because Tom Brady, I know you're still in denial about this, but he doesn't play for your team anymore. Your team's quarterbacks came, I think, 29th and 36th on this list, so that's fun for you as a Patriot fan. But what's the problem here, my friend?
Well, I have a few problems. One is that truth is the foundational bedrock of this show. And I hate to break it to everybody, you don't have to send your apologies to 1185 Avenue of the Americas because we're not in the office anymore. We're all at our houses. So Nick that's the first untruthful thing Nick has said. No, you do not. No, you do not. And no one's going to send edible arrangements there. The strawberries would go bad. Here's my issue. I agree with Broussard that it's wildly disrespectful. Wildly disrespectful. Last year, the same list had Brady listed as the 8th best quarterback. So Tom Brady goes out, throws for 40 touchdowns, wins the Super Bowl, wins Super Bowl MVP, and the people who make the list said, 5th. So what do you need to do to move? Oh, no, he's 6th, excuse me. What do you need to do to crack the top 5 if winning the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl MVP isn't good enough? But I'll play the game. I'll play the game. Maybe it's the leadership. Maybe there's a better leader out there, even though 2 of the guys are ahead of Brady, literally threatened to leave their teams. Meanwhile, Tom Brady is recruiting guys to go in and makes everybody better. Maybe it's arm strength. Maybe it's an arm strength thing. Dusty, can we throw up the graphic on how Tom Brady's arm has really suffered? Well, I don't know. He's had more air yards than everybody, had more passing touchdowns than Patrick Mahomes. What the heck, you got? Is that a misprint? Should we fire Dusty? Nope, it's actually correct. And had more rushing TDs than Russ. That's a little bit of a bonus there. But if it's not leadership, and his arm is still lively, and he won the Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP, to me, it's a little bit of like LeBron after he won the finals in the bubble. So, the Bucs deserve their respect, and Tom Brady deserves his respect too.
No, hold on a second. Wait a minute here. Hold on. There's so much of what you said there is insane, Wilds. First of all, you just dinged, I think, in passing, Russ and Rodgers for threatening to leave their team. Is my color off of my screen? Was that Tom Brady in a Patriots jersey, or was that him in a new jersey after he actually left his team? So the idea that those guys should be penalized for doing literally what he did is an absurdity. The other thing is, I'm not going to call you fake news, but that first stat, the only stat Brady led the league in, is a fake stat. Air yards per pass, the hell you talking about? The actual stat is air yards per pass means nothing to me. Yards per pass, yards per attempt, he was 12th in the league. And while he somehow found room for rushing touchdowns, as if that's something we really care about with Brady, what you conveniently left off was interceptions, where he had the 6th most in football, not including the hat trick he threw in the second half of the NFC Championship game. And Broussard, you're mentioning, you're like, oh my God, hey, he's third in the league in yards per game. Yes, in the exact same offense with the same weapons that established all-time great Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards the previous year. Let's not act like there is not a correlation between who he's throwing to and where he's playing and for whom he is playing and the volume numbers he put up last year, right? Like Jameis did have 30 touchdowns and 5,000 yards with the, I guess, slightly worse weapons, no Gronk, no AB, in the same offense, Broussard.
All right, Nick, you just spouted so much gibberish. I don't know where to begin. All right, let me try here. Number one, here's one word for you. Analytics. All right, come into the new world. Analytics. Air yards per pass is huge. All right, Wiles gets points for that. That's humongous. You should know this. Daryl Morey's your good friend. You should know analytics is legitimate. Secondly, you're going to